friends, and welcome to the very first episode of the Unmasked podcast. Now, for this first episode, I have a very special guest with me today, someone that I'm kind of met when I first started streaming, kind of around there. They're a very pog person, very energetic, very hype, the one and only ItsJustDio!
No! Sorry, I shouldn't scream. I probably should scream. I was hyping that. I was waiting for that.
No, that was perfect. That was perfect.
Thank you.
It's totally good. How are you doing today, Dio?
I'm very hot. Extremely hot. Both in looks and in weather.
Hey! There's a heat wave, I understand, going through
Yeah,
going through
it's horrible. It's like weather does not belong in England.
It's like a game of Sims. The weather is the same. There's no temperature. It's the Sims without the
Literally,
weather's expansion
It
pack.
just doesn't. It doesn't work. Rain is expected, but sunshine. I haven't seen the sun in like 2 months.
I thought you were gonna say 2 years, and I was very concerned.
I haven't seen the sun in 2 years. I don't.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I don't love it. Like, I hope you see the sun more than that, because it's good. But like, it's
I know. We're Minecraft streamers. We don't see the sun.
or grass or anything
grass,
that's
yeah.
outside. Anything.
Yeah. What's grass?
What's Friends?
What is
think,
Friends? Yeah.
I think it's a TV show from like the 90s. I don't really know though.
Sounds like a made-up word to me, to be honest.
Honestly, yeah. It's fake word. Oh,
Fake word.
God. Fake word. Oh gosh. Well, it is great to see you, Dio. Are you ready to get into some questions?
Yes, I am. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So to start us off, I'm gonna ask you, when and why did you start creating content?
I started streaming on the 27th of September, 2020. And 2020 was a shit year. No, it was so bad, and it was like, you know, like I'm a very extroverted person, so to be, you know, locked in a house for 6 months because my school got cancelled, I had no creative outlet, so I started streaming to, one, talk to people, and two, to actually have something where I could just be like, you know, talking to people and just having an outlet to be able to be like, yo, this is my creative side.
Hey.
And now
totally
I haven't
understandable.
stopped.
Hey, we love that. We love that. It's just like, I started it as a one-time thing, and I'm still
Literally,
here 2
yeah.
years later.
Literally, I thought it was going to be like a phase where I kind of did it for a week and put everything into it and then moved on, because I tend to do that a lot. But then I kept going, and now I can't get out.
You're once you're inside, you're trapped here forever.
Yeah, please help. They are forcing me.
Twitch is like behind your desk, just be like, you better make that content.
We need a 1 hour stream a day.
Oof. Oh, Twitch, please no. I have other responsibilities.
They don't care about the responsibilities.
No, they don't.
They care about their platform, and that is it.
Yeah, that do be the Twitch. So it's just Dio. That is your just wait. That's your username across multiple platforms?
Yes.
Okay.
It is.
How did you come up with your name?
Oh, I like this one. Okay, I tell this story all the time because a lot of people, when they come into my chat, they're like, either like, the two thing I get is Time Dio or Dio from JoJo, right? Like the anime. It's like the two most common things. It's like they either make like anime references or shit, and I'm just like, you know, that's not the same thing. Like, one of my biggest things is I'm not the handsome anime man. That's what I always say. But but I'm a big lover of Greek mythology. And I always have been, like, just anything about Greek mythology. And there is a certain god called Dionysus. Yeah, and he's like the god of wine and partying. And I was choosing an Xbox name, and I was like, oh yeah, Dionysus, that sounds cool. And so my original Twitch name was Dionysus607, because 607 was like one off my birthday or whatever. And it was the worst Twitch username ever, because no one could pronounce it. Because it was literally like, it was spelt with a Y, and it was weird. And so every time I would go into someone's chat, they'd try and read my name, and the thing I would always say was, "It's just Dio." Like, "Oh, it's just Dio." You know what I mean? Because I just call
Yeah.
myself Dio. And then I realized there was an anime guy called Dio, and I was like, I tried to change it in my first couple of streams and said Dio, but it never stuck.
Oh.
So I just called myself Dio, and then obviously this was around the time like the Call Me Carson shit was going on, and I was gonna like call myself Call Me Dio, but then I was like, no, that sounds like Call Me Carson, and Call Me Carson's getting cancelled. So I just stuck with It's Just Dio. But yeah, there's this one guy with It's Just Dio, but without the underscore on Twitch.
No.
Yeah, and I messaged him and I was like, hey, would you be willing to like, could I pay you to change your username? And he was like, no, my friends know me as this. And I'm like, fair enough. But I check in every 6 months. I ask him every 6 months.
I love
just in case
that.
he's changed his mind.
Yeah, yeah, like you never know. You never know. I love that commitment to like, can I please have this name?
Please.
I will give you money.
I don't like the underscore, please, for God's sake.
Oh no. Oh gosh, like on YouTube, do you have the underscore?
I don't have the underscore now.
Oh, is it
I
just
managed
on
to nab
Twitch?
it. Yeah, it's just Twitch. Literally just Twitch.
No.
TikTok's the same. It doesn't. I don't have the underscore on TikTok, I believe.
Ooh.
So it's just so annoying because it's like that one platform, my biggest platform, is just the one that doesn't have, like the full thing without the underscore.
One day. One of these
One
days.
day, yeah, one day he'll
One
cave in.
day he'll
One
cave.
day.
He'll
He
cave
doesn't
to
even
money.
stream. That's the thing. He doesn't even stream. He just
Ah.
uses it to watch it, and I'm like, no, you know.
Give me
like,
something.
Literally. I mean, I honestly respect it, but
Right,
also it's
right.
very annoying.
Yeah. Branding.
Yeah, literally. Branding. Don't even get me started on branding.
Oh gosh. So you've been streaming for about 2 years now.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh God, don't say that. That's scary. Yeah, I have.
It's just like, oh god.
Yeah.
What would you say is like one of your favorite, or like some of your favorite parts about like content creation? Like, what have been some of your favorite moments, or like the highlights within your content journey?
One of the highlights was a charity subathon.
Ooh.
Because it was my first ever subathon and my only subathon as today. And I was raising money for cancer research. Because you know it's a thing that affects a lot of people. But I'd never done a subathon before because my streams are normally an hour long. Because that was always the catch. It was just an hour, and this one ended up being like 7 hours before I had to cave in and end it. Yeah, so it was like mental. And I remember saying to my friends beforehand, I was like, "What if we did?" Because my goal was $100, right? And I was like, "Oh, I don't think we're gonna make it, and then I'm gonna just have to like end the stream, and it's gonna be really like, oh, it was horrible." And then we ended up raising almost $900
Holy
in 7
shit.
hours.
Yes.
And it was like the feeling I had after that of just like, oh my God, this community is insane, was like one of the biggest ones.
That is absolutely amazing, Dio. It's crazy what a community online can do.
Oh, literally. It's like sometimes you sit there and you're like, people are actually watching this. Like they're sat wherever they are in the world, just like on whatever device they have, and they're watching this.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's difficult. It's often difficult, you know, to grasp the concept of like viewers until you just like you remember like you watch Twitch as well, and you know you're in your house and you've got your own life, and it's all a bit confusing. So when people were like, "Oh yeah, here's $900 towards a charity," I was like, "Holy hell! Like this is big," you know?
Oh yeah.
But yeah, there's been so many times where I've been like, this is great. Like when we used to do like lore and roleplay on the Minecraft server, it used to be so good because like people would make these stories and fan fictions and like fan art. Oh my God, fan art
Is
so
crazy. Like
It's
how do these people have this much talent?
Literally, and it's like you would spend time with your talent for me. Like, that's insane. It's like genuinely mental. It's like, what? Use your fingers to do something good. You know,
Use your fingers to do something.
Oh, don't say that. Yeah, okay, listen. No.
I wasn't taking it there. I wasn't taking it there either. Oh.
We have a family-friendly attitude.
Yeah, we're family friendly. I definitely won't have to put PG-13 onto this podcast. Oh my god,
it's gonna be inevitable.
Yeah, it's
At one point.
fine. It's fine.
Don't
People can. I'll just be like, "Hey, skip 10 seconds here if you don't like this kind of stuff. It's fine." Or just like plug your ears. It's okay. It's okay.
Don't tell your parents.
Don't tell your parents, please.
Streaming is wild. Streaming is
Oh my
insane.
gosh.
When I hit 1K, that was big.
Oh yeah.
Like somebody made an edit of it on TikTok, and like you can hear just like the joy in my voice. Like I don't stream with a face, but you can hear when I'm smiling, and that was like one of the biggest. Like you could hear me just smile like and scream at the fact we'd hit like 1K, and it was great. I loved it.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah,
1K is like the first or no, there are a lot of big milestones, but like when you hit 1K, it's like how the fuck.
Yeah, literally, you see your Twitch numbers switch from like 3 digits to like 1, and they're like on the homepage. That was a big thing. I have a folder on my desktop of just basically screenshots of my follower milestones,
Mm-hmm.
and you can see the profile picture change and everything, and like it go from like 200 to like 1K, and it's just
that's cool.
Oh man, I hit 1K in July of 2021.
Ooh.
So that was it's 8 months after I started streaming,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just the best feeling ever. I remember going in school and bragging to all my friends, being like, I have 1,000 people following me on Twitch, and it was just,
Oh,
it was like the
gosh.
biggest thing ever.
That's so sick, dude. It's crazy seeing that kind of like journey and experience, and and especially like where you have that folder of photos, like of kind of like the milestones that you've hit. It's really cool to be able to like have that progression, to see kind of like where you started at and like how things have kind of like changed and grown. And I don't mean like grow in the numbers of people, but like how you have changed and grown as like a content creator in itself.
Yeah, and
It's
even
really
as a
sick to see.
person.
Yeah.
Like, I've become a bit of a better person since I started streaming, and I don't know whether that's just because I've grown up, or whether it's like because the internet has shaped me, sometimes good, sometimes bad, but like streaming has been one of those things where it's like, I've actually changed.
I would honestly agree with that.
Yeah, it's just so nice to be able to be like, yeah, I know who I am more because of just strangers on the internet who support me.
Yeah. When I first started streaming, like the person who I was when I first started streaming to the person who I am now, they're two different people. And like streaming has helped me grow more into the person that I want to be. Like it's helped given me the confidence to be like who I want. And it's
a confidence thing.
Yeah. It's so sick.
It is. It's genuine. Like confidence was always like a big thing, and then suddenly you have like, for example, one of the things I used to hate was my voice. Before I started streaming, I hated my voice because I often got a bit of like mockery from it when I was a kid.
Aww.
And then all of a sudden, like all these people on the internet are being like, the first thing a lot of people say are like, "Oh, I love your voice," and I'm like, "What?" Like there are people that
like, excuse me,
this doesn't matter. Yeah, like this something doesn't add up here. You know what I mean? And little things like that, it's just like, it makes me more confident. And, like we said before, just like the fact that there are people actually there is confidence in itself,
It's so weird to think about the fact that like the number of viewers are like actual people. That was one of like the first things that I had to try to like wrap my head around when it came to streaming, was the fact that like, oh yeah, there's a number, like, and like people like talk about views a lot and things like that, but like what still blows my mind now is the fact that many people are like consistently like tuning into
exactly
streams. And
it's like every day. Some people, it's like some people are daily, and you're like, oh, you literally are setting aside part of your day to watch me for an hour, and it's just like, what, you know what I mean? I'll never cease to amaze me that
it's crazy. It's just crazy.
It is, and it's beautiful, but it's crazy.
Oh yeah. One of the things that you had mentioned, like toward kind of like the beginning or like the middle of your stream experience, was when you guys would do lore. So one thing I want to swing back around with that is, what has it been like to do lore streams or to write lore or kind of perform lore, because like even though it is a stream, it's still like in a sense you're still performing something. It's just in a different medium than like a play or like a concert or something like that. So like what has that kind of been like?
Oh god, it's I started doing lore in March of 2021 and I've only just recently ended. So that's a full-on like year and a bit of Minecraft roleplay. But I wish I could show people the work that goes into it, because it is normal streams you plan out a lot, but with lore it's like you have a server of like 20 people and a lot of them don't stream. So oftentimes it was like up to me to showcase everyone's characters and all that sort of stuff. And you know, we would build massive projects. I would make cutscenes, and edit them together and film everything whilst being at school and all that. So it was an insane amount of work, but it was so worth it, because especially when something massive happens in lore, you can see the chat going wild.
Oh my god, yeah.
And that is like one of the like, for example, when like I kill like a best friend of mine or something, and it was like everyone went insane. I remember the first lore stream back of like season 2, we had like 60 average viewers for that whole thing.
That's crazy.
We had like literally the whole 2 hours, it was just an average of 60, and it was like that was the highest like for a lore stream ever. And I remember when like 2 people were watching at the very beginning, and then people started getting invested. And again, back to the fan art thing, the fan art that people made for the lore and like the things that they made for a character that like they had nothing to work with. They had a block game to work with, right? They had pixels because nobody showed their face during lore, so it was literally just pixels.
So just pixel
and they
art,
made,
in a sense.
Yeah, they made art, just complete art of it, and like scenarios. People made animations of it.
Oh my god, animations are wild.
Yeah, literally, like they made full-on animatics. They made edits, but it was like so. Performing it was nerve-wracking. Not gonna lie. It was so scary because you can see sometimes in the streams, you can see my hand shaking at big moments, where I have to kind of like hold my hand to stop me from shaking, because it was like, especially when lore has to be so perfectly timed and everything has to work. And if it doesn't work, then everything can fall apart. And then you'll have like, I'd say like 50% of the time something wouldn't work, and you have to be able to like improvise that on the spot. And also you have to be able to respond to chat as well at the same time and listen to what they're saying to kind of tailor it. And like I said, when you've got a server full of 20 people, it's hard to arrange stuff. So oftentimes you have to wait weeks until you've actually got something. And then we had the members of the Bredesen Beat, and then we had the writers. And the writers were about 7 of us, and we like wrote the main body of the story. But writers' calls were always so chaotic. It was just all either screaming at each other because we couldn't like get something done, or us just like having a conversation about bread. Like there was no in between on writers' calls. But it was honestly, lore was amazing, and I miss it. But I think there's a certain point when you've got to be like, okay, this is you know, enough, because we did 2 seasons of it.
Yeah, 2 seasons is a lot.
And that first season ending with everyone losing their memory, that was kind of like a big thing. And then it was hard to come back from it because we added new people as well. Right. So it was hard to come back from it. But I think I wouldn't change anything that I did with it, but it kind of like needed to end, sort of thing.
Right, like every story has its end.
Exactly, and it was amazing while it lasted, but I think, you know, if we would have went on any longer, it would have been difficult to maintain that sort of like the quality that we had with lore, because I'm not gonna lie, it was really, really good quality. Like it was probably some of the best content I've ever made on my channel, because it was just so well thought out, and we did like Morse
so
code.
Much planning.
Yeah, exactly. We did hints every so often. Even like my Spotify would indicate lore hints sometimes. People would like listen to my Spotify. Yeah, and they would like note it down, and they would connote what's gonna happen next stream, and it was, yeah, the mystery to it was amazing. And I'm planning of doing something of like an ARG soon, or like more lore, but just like more sort of towards the end, so I can actually finally focus on like fully content sort of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
One thing that I do want to ask you about, you said like with writing lore, there was sometimes where it's like you would have to deal with lore in streams and also school. So what has it been like being a streamer who's still in school? Because school can take up a lot of time, and content creation in itself is such a time. It can be such a time-consuming thing. So like, what's it been like for you to try to like to deal with both, or like kind of find like a balance between the two?
I'm not gonna lie, it's been kind of difficult. Because when you first start streaming, like especially, I'm not sure if I know in the UK it was the case. Like my year, like my class, people my age, at like the COVID pandemic sort of thing, our final exams got cancelled. Because it's not like in other countries where they have like exams every year. We spend about 5 years preparing for these big exams when you're 16. And COVID was the first time since World War II that these exams have been fully cancelled.
Oh, wow.
And so we didn't do them. And it was kind of just like all of this preparation, these 5 years of preparation, and then just nothing. Like not even like we got grades, but they were just based off what we'd been doing in the year. So if you didn't pay attention in the year, then you got bad grades.
Right.
But because normally it just depends on this big exam. Anyway, so it was kind of like when I got back into school, I had started streaming. And when you first start streaming, you're like engulfed by it. You stream like every day. You stream for like 4 hours straight. You're caught up with just like, even if there's no one in chat, you're caught up with just like, yeah, I'm a streamer now, you know? And it's like this big thing. And you're dreaming of getting a PC and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And so in like the first year of college, I did not pay attention at all because I was mostly just focused on like content, but also just I didn't have that feeling of like education matters because my exams have been cancelled. I just didn't care because I thought it was irrelevant. And so I just kind of went through this whole thing of like, for a year, I just didn't pay attention in school. I missed out on everything. I left everything to the last minute. And then the second year of college, my final year of college, which I'm in now, I was like, oh God, I have to start it all again. And I have to catch up. So my content took a bit of a downward spiral because I was putting more effort into my schoolwork than my content.
Right.
Whereas the year before, I was putting more work into my content than my schoolwork. And then it kind of got to the point where it was like on stream, I just went into autopilot every 20 seconds. Like I would just be doing something and then I would be like just staring at the screen. And I realized, because obviously I'm not, again, I don't use my face, so I can't exactly just do something with my face. I've just been literally just like saying nothing at the screen for like a solid like 5 minutes. And so I like, again, with the whole like Bread SMP thing, I left the Bread SMP to try and like get a balance. And honestly, I've been getting better with it. I've been balancing like school and content really well, but it is like kind of I don't know if it was just me or whether it's difficult in general, but Twitch has this thing where it can just engulf you and like, you know, make you see yourself as more of a number and a statistic than a person.
Oh, yeah.
And to be able to like break away from that, it takes time, but like you genuinely will get through it.
Yeah, it takes time, and it's like a lot of like kind of inner work, I guess is how I'll phrase
Exactly,
because it's like it's the mindset that Twitch kind of gives streamers in some senses. Like Twitch can be great, but there are also a lot of times where it's like, if you don't do a certain amount, or if you're not outputting a certain amount of like content or streams or other kinds of things like that, then it feels like you're not going to get anywhere, or like things aren't going to go the way that you may want them to.
It's like if you take a break, then
they punish you.
You have this feeling like, yeah, exactly. It's like if you take a break, then not only does Twitch be like, okay, less viewers when you come back, but also like you think, oh my God, are they gonna forget about me? Oh my God, am I just irrelevant? Like, and you have to keep going, but then you keep going so much that you just get burnout.
Yep.
And then you try to come back from it and you're like, can I come back from it?
Oh yeah. And I think that's something too that like people don't always see. Like they may see like the effects of the burnout because like it's definitely burnout is such a huge thing with streamers, and I wish that it wasn't so harsh on Twitch. Like, I feel
Yeah.
like, especially because of like how much goes into content creation, how much time,
Mm-hmm.
how much effort, planning, how much can truly go into the process of it. I feel like Twitch should kind of like they would want their streamers or the people using their platform to want to take those breaks for themselves.
Yeah,
Because like there's
exactly.
still other streamers that are going to not be on break while they're on break. So it's like, don't punish people for taking care of themselves and doing the things that they need to do for
Exactly.
themselves.
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying. And it's so it's just like Twitch at the end of the day is a company, and
True.
a company's first priority will always be capitalization and money. And so
True.
it's kind of expected that they would not take as much of the mental health of streamers into account, but also at the same time it's just like, come on.
Like, at
This
least
is your whole
throw
business.
us some bone.
Yeah, give us something.
Give
man,
us
you know?
something, man.
it's you know, it is what it is. But
Yeah.
I think with streaming the pros and cons kind of balance each other out.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So all the downs that you have, you will have ups.
Oh yeah,
You know,
like big ups at times, definitely.
yeah, massive. But,
It's
yeah,
like-
but simultaneously, you will have massive downs as well.
True.
And so it's
very true.
kind of just like life, you know.
Oh, very true. Very, very true. I think a lot of people can relate to that, especially like with COVID and of like the huge ups, the huge downs, and it's just like no one knows what the fuck's going on anymore.
Exactly.
It's just crazy.
It's just kind of you're just kind of like numb to it by now. You're just like, yeah, you know what? Whatever happens, happens.
You
kind of just learn to like,
go.
yeah, you kind of just learn to go with it, and it's the same with streaming. You kind of just like, you know what?
You take the.
I'm not
punches
gonna
as
base
they
myself
come.
around a number. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, and it's like
You're gonna be happy. You're gonna celebrate it when it goes well, and you're not
Yeah.
gonna be bothered about it when it doesn't. You know?
Yeah, because like peaks and valleys. Like that's
Yeah,
how I
definitely.
think of like life. There's like peaks and valleys, and I think I see it the same way when it comes to content creation, especially with streaming. Because like there may be parts in a month where a lot of people have things going on, or in the case of school, like a lot of my community is like they're of younger ages. They're kids that are in school, high school, a lot of things like that, and so it's like they have other responsibilities, and so it's like
Yeah, definitely.
everybody has responsibilities, and like
Yeah.
it's hard to like tune into a stream, or it's hard to like focus on content creation because of like so many other things that go into it. It's like content creators, yeah, we try to create content and do what we can, but for a lot of us it's not a full time. So it's like there's
Exactly.
like 4 or 5 other responsibilities that we have in our life that like it's hard to focus on content creation. But yeah,
No,
there's so
definitely.
much guilt about missing out even a little bit with content.
Yeah.
Because it's like I want to be creating more. This is what I want to do, but like I have to be away from it. And it's just that
and you have
that
limits,
guilt really
yeah.
sucks. Yeah, limits and like boundaries too. Like
definitely.
there has to be that boundary. Something that I think I would say to people that are just starting out with content creation, like there are so many things to like think of and kind of plan out, but one thing that I think I would say is like a good place to start is to create and set up boundaries.
Yeah,
because,
definitely.
like, having those boundaries from the get-go is going to help you so much like further down the line, because if you know what your boundaries are now, then you'll be able to kind of like feel like, okay, is this kind of thing going to be good for me in the community? Is this kind of thing going to be good for me? Like what, like in terms of fan art, what am I comfortable with? In terms of like questions or comments, what am I comfortable with? What am I not comfortable with? And also along with boundaries, it's like how much of my time will I spend on this? Because like with content creation, you could spend 24/7 working on things, editing, planning, streaming, but you still, like, at the end of the day, you need to give yourself some time, or else it's gonna lead to burnout, like you had said.
Yeah, and burnout is the worst feeling, especially with like content, because you just feel so guilty and so lazy. But in reality, you've just spent the whole like 3 months or whatever doing everything you can, and then as soon
Going
as you take a break,
ham.
you're like, ew, you know what I mean?
Just ew.
Yeah, I should be doing something, you know, but you have like no motivation to do it.
Oh yeah.
But then you get it back, and it's all dandy again.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. there's always like that panic when it's like, oh no, I should be doing more, and then once you're able to like have more time and do more, you're like, this is great, I love this,
Yeah,
I don't want to do
exactly.
anything else. And then it's just that the peaks and valleys thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a cycle. But,
yeah.
you know, and that's why it's so important to make other streamer friends as well, because they
Mm.
know exactly what you're thinking and how you're feeling. Because you
Oh
can
yeah.
talk about it to like friends and all that as well, but you won't get the same sort of understanding that you have with people that stream also and go through the same peaks and valleys that you do. And
Oh
you
yeah.
kind of just learn to talk to each other about it and get the support you need, but also support each other.
Oh yeah, it's like shared experiences. Like,
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
like content creators are like a group of people that all have similar or very shared experiences, because like it's all kind of the same, not the same stuff, but like things in chat may be the same, like things that may happen, like follow bots, like, or follow bot raids and other kinds of things like that. And it's like, oh, how do you go about dealing with this? Oh yeah, I've dealt with this, I've gone about it this way or this way. And it's really cool what like content creators can do on their own, what content creators can do with their community, and then what content creators can do with other content creators. Like, the limits are pretty much endless in terms of content. It's something that I also wanted to say too, looping back around to like the lore stuff that you had talked about, where it went beyond just the streams and it went into like your Discord and then your Spotify playlist.
Yeah.
That I feel like content creation allows so much freedom with it, because it's not so like stuck in like one medium. You can literally tell one story through like TikTok, YouTube, Twitch. You can have like a playlist that may have some clues, or you can have kind of like an online puzzle or code that like all leads together, and it's just so cool.
Yeah, it's mental. It's like, especially with lore, it's like we made a whole story with like betrayal and like you know, terrorism and all that, and
Anguish,
fear,
feelings.
Yeah, exactly. Angst, so much angst. Oh my god. Highs and lows, and it was literally, and it was all just through a block game for kids, and it was like, it was, you know, it's mental the things you can do, and the things that the community creates out of it.
Oh yeah. It's
Oh
insane.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Get that Minecraft roleplay.
Get that Minecraft roleplay. Get it under the belt. Oh gosh. So Dio.
We. I need to stop responding in French. Why do we keep responding in French? I don't even like the French language. It's so dumb.
Oh no. Oh,
yes,
gosh.
Wendell. Yes.
Oh gosh. So you've said a few times throughout this podcast that you, oh god, I almost spilled my tea. We're good. No, it's good. Anyways, you've said that you use like you don't have a face cam, and that you like you don't show your face. So my question to you is, what is it like being, like, what has your experience been like as a quote unquote masked content creator?
Ooh. God, this is a wormhole.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is a big one. Faceless content is simultaneously the best and worst thing ever.
Okay.
Because looping back to like having streaming friends, I have a lot of friends who actually show their face, like their full face. And you know, they always talk about like how much they have to prepare for streams and how much like they have to look the best, and it's not the best for confidence and all that. And the thing with the reason why I'm a faceless streamer is, one, because I didn't have a camera to begin with, because I started streaming on an Xbox 360. Or was it an Xbox One? It was an Xbox of some kind.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it wasn't until like maybe 5 months in I earned enough money to get a PC.
Oh, that's really sick.
Yeah, so I had a really bad mic. I had like a free earphone mic and everything. But I didn't have a webcam or anything, so that was another thing. But also, there's this stigma around females on Twitch, and a lot of people, it's absolutely dog shit, but a lot of people will be like, blame any success you have on you being female. And that is like one of the things I knew about Twitch. Like people would go in and be like, "Oh yeah, you've only got this many followers because you're female."
Ugh.
And I did not want that to be the case. I wanted to build a community based off just people who were there because I was there, you know what I mean? And not
Right.
because of something that I couldn't control, like my gender, you know?
Yeah.
I wanted to build this massive community of just like people that wanted me for who I was and not for what they thought I would be.
And like their expectations, like what
Yeah,
their
exactly.
inner expectations might be, or like
Yeah,
projected
exactly.
onto you.
Yeah, and I didn't want to change to make me to make myself like what they expected, you know?
Oh yeah.
But one of the big things was it was brilliant, and I always expected that I would have caved in and shown my face by now. I was fully expecting to just like give in and just be like, you know what, here you go, you know, because I'm reckless. And I'm just
'Cause
like,
I'm reckless.
yeah, I've almost done it on stream before, and my friends have had to pull me back and be like, you'll regret it. No, don't do it. I've literally almost like been like, oh, what if I just turned on the camera? But it's amazing because I feel so much more confident. And I feel so much more like free, and also I don't have the worry of like you know, if this does end up, you know, getting a bit bigger, then I won't have to worry about like the stress of, you know, all that comes with that. But also on the other hand, it is a lot harder to make content. Like you can't do baking streams or cooking streams or in real life streams because it's gotten to the point now where it's like, I'm gonna give you nothing or I'm gonna give you everything. Like I don't want to show like my body, either like my arms or my legs, without showing you the full thing, like my face and everything. You know what I mean?
Because that can also be so hard to like orchestrate too. Because like if it's like a baking stream or something, how are you gonna make sure that like the camera level is always like from like the
definitely
neck down?
And all it takes up is like a slip up.
Oh yeah.
And then it's just done.
It's
so
over.
That's the stress. And also like with for example, TwitchCon is happening in July. And I'm planning on going, but also people will recognize my friend who shows his face. Then I have to worry about now, like, you know, covering my face because I don't want to be shown, but also I want to have a good time at TwitchCon. So it's kind of it comes with its downsides, but like in terms of content, like it's so much more difficult to do stuff on Twitch, but also it's so much more liberating in terms of confidence. But there is also a big thing that comes with it, and that is people's expectations of what you look like that kind of is holding me back as well. Yeah, because like like when you're reading a book, right, and you have this video this image in your head of what the character looks like, and then you maybe like to watch the movie adaptation, you're like, that is not how I
expected them at all.
Yeah, exactly. And that's always like the fear of like, if I eventually do show my face, will people think like that? And will people be like, oh, that's a bit disappointing, you know, that sort of thing?
Yeah, it's like, it's my face. What do you mean?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I can't change it. But like, if that's why every time, like, somebody asked me, one of the big things people ask me in stream is either, when will I do a face reveal, or do I actually have blue and purple hair in real life? And to that, I always respond, I'm bald in real life. Always. Like, I always say I'm bald because you can't tell if I'm telling the truth.
That's true.
Because I never show my face.
That is very smart.
I could be bald. I could not be bald. Same with my eye color. I mean, they know I've got a blue eyes because that's something that I revealed. But like, other than that, they have like their own expectation. And honestly, I like that mystery. You know, I like that sort of, you know, not having to think about what to wear for stream or what to look like.
Because it's just like the only thing that's important is the content and the community and the stream
definitely.
itself.
You do have to rely a lot on your voice though, like all the stuff that, and that's why Minecraft is such a great game, because you can zoom into your face, you can like stop, you can pause the music. That's why like music is a massive thing in my streams, because I have it set up so I can pause and play music very specifically, play like specific music as well, because that's where most of the comedy elements come from, is the music and the reactions, because I don't have my face to like make the reactions for me. So I have to rely on other things like music and, you know, gestures and stuff. But there will be times where, like, every time I get a follow, I wave, right? Every time, without fail. But, like, even though I know they can't see me for some reason, it's just like a reaction.
Oh my gosh.
It's like an instinct. But yeah, I'd say it's a blessing and a curse, faceless streaming.
Oh yeah, I would also very much agree with that. A blessing and a curse.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh god. There was another thing I wanted to. Okay, no, I found it. Because there was another question I wanted to ask, and I was like, wait. I thought
you spilt the green tea again. I was like, no.
No. The green tea is safe for now. The green tea is safe. So like, with that, like, because you are a faceless streamer, and like your streams and your videos and your content has such a high level of energy. It is insane. It is so cool.
I didn't come on here to be complimented. This is not the thing.
Well, surprise. My or kind of the way that I want to like lead this next like topic is that like because you have such that high level of energy, like how do you keep that up? Like how do you keep that up? And like you kind of explained it a little bit, like because you don't have a face cam, you like compensate with like music and also like in-game like zooms and like gestures with the character that you're playing and things like that. But like as such a high energy leveled like streamer, how do you go about keeping that energy or kind of like taking care of yourself when that energy isn't at the highest?
Oh god. I've always been a very loud person. And I think it was quite ironic is that I do a lot of facial expressions in my day-to-day life. So I kind of move that into my voice, but sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, there is points where my energy is not high at all. On stream, and those are the quote-unquote chill streams. And one of the big things I used to have was like, if I am not energetic, then I'm not going to stream because I don't want to, because I thought that my community had this thing of like, if I'm not screaming all the time, they won't watch. And so for ages I used to be like, okay, if I'm not completely off my head at all times, then I won't be funny, you know? But it's taken me about a year to figure out that my community doesn't care.
Your
like,
community
really
likes you for you.
Exactly, but that's the thing. It's like it took me so long to realize that, but now that I do, when I don't have energy on stream, I will literally just say not feeling very energetic, but I will still have that sort of like spark there. But I will literally say to them, I am not feeling very energetic. Let's just do a chill stream. I have like a jazz playlist set up. I just start playing that and we just talk about life. And I think it's so important to have that as like, if you are not feeling a certain way, you do not have to live up to anyone's expectations but your own. Like, you do not have to conform to anything you think people, because most of the time, what you think people are thinking, they aren't actually thinking that.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Like, that,
you
absolutely.
could be so insecure. You could be so insecure and be like, no, they won't watch. They will.
They will
because they don't
because
care.
They like you and your content.
Yeah. And it's that just feeling of just like, you know what? Do what you feel comfortable with, but also remember, you know, it is content at the end of the day. You still got to provide content, but do what you feel you are confident with. And that's so important. And it took me too long to remember that. But in terms of keeping the energy up, honestly, my energy comes from my chat. Like, seeing people in the chat makes me excited and makes me happy. And I most of the time, I just react to things in chat. Like, most of the bits come from just somebody being like, oh yeah, I microwaved a hamster today. And I'm like, huh?
Yeah, it's just like off the cuff. It's like, I'm sorry, come again?
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like everything from like a follow alert to like, you know, subs. It's just keeping that just like energy and that hype is just so important, because then people feel welcomed and they feel... They feel like they it's not for everyone, and some people find it annoying and some people find it loud, and you know, but for the people that it is for, they can do whatever they want with it, you know.
Yeah, definitely. It's like oh gosh, the whole like expectations, like, or like like having those kind of mindsets of like, oh, like there's there's I don't even like trying to find a place to start within my brain. It's like, oh god. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like, there's so many things when you start streaming that it's like, oh, like, what if chat thinks this? What if people think this? Oh, do I have to do this a certain way because it's what I've always done? Having to break out of those, like, habits and patterns, and like, especially, like, I feel like as a content creator, you have to go places that you're uncomfortable. Like, not in a way that, like, it's like a topic that you're uncomfortable with or anything of that matter, or crossing any boundaries of your own, but like mindsets or just like habits that like you're worried that if you break them, then things are going to go wrong. That's exactly why you need to break it, because it's keeping you stuck in this box, and that's kind of like,
get out of that comfort zone.
Yeah, get out of your comfort zone, because that's going to take you to some of like the most fun places. Like some of the most fun projects that I've done with content creation, I've had no idea how to do, and I've just like, I may have been worried about it the whole time, but I was like, I have no idea where I'm going. This is something entirely new and different for me, but I want to see where it takes me, and like if I want to do more stuff like this in the future, then I have to break out of my own limiting mindsets.
Yeah, exactly. And just it's all about just having the confidence to say, you know what, this may or may not work, but I'll never know until I actually try and find out.
Yes, very true. Very true.
But I feel like every streamer knows about that eventually.
Oh yeah.
You know,
it's
may
just
take
like
longer than, you know, but it finds out, you know?
Oh yeah. It's like everybody experience or like figures out and learns these different things kind of like at their own pace, and that's what I think is so cool about content creation, or one of the many things that I think is so cool about content creation, is that it like literally every single streamer can have a completely different journey from one another, but there's still all of these shared experiences, things that we know about, things that we can relate to each other on, but we can get to where we currently are through completely different avenues and paths, and it's just really cool to be able to like hear one specific content creator's like story, and then hear another person's story, and like it's crazy to me.
It is. It's insane. It really is insane. But again, it's been one of like the best almost 2 years of my life, and I genuinely wouldn't change it for anything.
Same here. Here.
I just have to mute every time I move my mic because my mic arm is extremely squeaky.
Oh no.
It's so squeaky. It's like literally like 1,000 mice dying. It's horrible. But it's you know, it's fine. It's fine. I just don't want to ruin everyone's ears.
We're sorry, podcast listeners. We love you.
Please, headphone
users,
warning.
we love you. Volume warning, especially because both of us are very loud streamers.
Oh god, yeah.
We are loud, and our mic arms. I don't know if my mic arm is loud. I just got this yesterday.
Oh, new mic arm. New mic arm is so nice. That's so fun.
Oh yeah, it's very fun. One last question that I have for you for this podcast. What are some things that kind of surprised you about content creation once you started getting more into it, or things that came up that you're like, oh, I did not expect this, or it was like it was like a really sudden thing, or it's just like that turned out differently than I thought it would, or like I didn't realize that was a thing that I would have to like even think about or kind of like come into until it actually happened?
One of the big things is mods. Like moderators, I didn't expect. I kind of knew that I would maybe have to have them, but moderators play such like a massive role in a stream.
My gosh, yes.
They are they were literally like the life force of the stream. They like they keep it engaged, they keep it safe. But like the fact that like the big thing that surprised me was like, oh my god, people are willing to volunteer to do this for free because they like the streams. And I'm like, are you sure you don't want to, you know, money or anything? And they're like, no, we just like the streams. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you know. And then there were some people, another big thing that surprised is like, you know those people you always get in a streamer's chat that like gift insane amounts?
Oh my god.
Yeah, or like hype trains. Hype trains are insane. Like when people just keep going, and you're like, "Oh, okay, that's enough."
It's like, please stop.
Their whole life savings. Yeah, there's a point where you're like, you are literally dumping your whole life's work onto me. Are you okay?
Are you okay?
Do I need to call someone? You know,
do you need assistance?
Literally, it's like, do I need to literally freeze your bank account for you to start. Because in my mind, I'm literally just a 17-year-old in her room playing Minecraft. And then there's all these people just be like, here, have my life savings. And I'm like, what did I do? You know?
What did I do? It's like people are extremely generous, but it's also just like, oh, Pog streamer, yeet!
Yeah, literally.
And it's like, how do you do that? But then again,
like,
I also
why?
have gone into some of my friends' streams and been like, hee, and then just yeeted bits or subs.
God.
Just because I like to support
it gets to the point where it's like, what the hell? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I think, obviously, you could talk for days about, like, the bad surprises, you know, like the people coming in that you don't really want to, you know, like a big thing that I struggled with at the beginning was like my in real life friends coming in and kind of, you know, breaking those boundaries and stuff.
Right.
But honestly, the good things about content creation, like the mods and the chat, they cancel it out. So there has honestly been better, like more surprises than bad surprises, you know?
Totally.
So honestly, it's just like the mods and the community itself. Just having a community like I have and like many streamers have, like, and fan art. I know we've talked about so much, but fan art.
But like fan art though.
Fan art though.
How?
Man, so
I have
good.
an entire folder on my desktop.
Same.
Yes.
I have a fan art folder, and I have it on my phone as well. So whenever I show my friends like the most recent fan art. I show my dad as well. My dad's like, yo, and I'm like, I know.
Sometimes I'll show my dad. I don't have a folder on my phone just because my phone doesn't have a lot of space. But like I'll open the image from Discord and I'll be like, Dad, look at this.
I know, it's so good. Like, it's gotten to the point where my family comes over now for like family events and stuff, and they're like, show them the pictures. I'm like, what pictures? And they're like, the pictures, and I'm like, oh, okay, fair enough. And then I'll just show them all the fan art and stuff, and especially because I have like fan art competitions as well.
Yeah, you do those like monthly.
Yeah. Oh, it's like big events like Christmas, Halloween.
Oh yeah,
Easter,
it's cool to see. Like I pop into your Discord and I kind of lurk because I'm too scared to talk. But like I see all of the cool stuff that you do on your Discord server and like the
Can I be completely honest with you?
Yeah.
So when we were preparing for this podcast today, I went onto your Discord server, and for the longest time, it has literally just been like 4 channels because I have never realized you have to press the reaction.
Yeah, not a lot of people.
I had no idea.
I think I have to fix it. But I don't know how I want to go about doing that.
Literally just put like a message or something. But it was like literally it was like 4 channels, and I was like, oh, I don't know where to see this. And then I clicked the little reaction. It was just 1 million channels appeared, and I was like, what?
Yeah,
this is a thing. I was so confused.
I had to do it because I dealt with a lot of like issues on my Discord server, and so I had to add like another level of like security to it.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
So that was kind of how that happened.
I just felt so dumb when I realized it.
No, don't. Oh gosh, there's so much.
So much. I feel like we could go on this podcast for about like 4 hours. Because
yeah,
it's such like a specific thing to talk about.
Yeah, it's Pog.
It is.
It's like I can get caught up. I could talk about content for hours. Like seriously, I don't know why. It's just
definitely.
It's Pog.
It is, and it's so like it's because I don't really have like anyone else to talk to about it because I don't like talking about it. Like to people that wouldn't fully understand it. So it's lovely to just actually speak to someone about it for a bit, you know?
Yeah, totally. Dude, anytime you want to talk about content with someone, literally send me a message. I do not care what time it is. I could go on for hours about this
I will
shit.
spam you at like 3 a.m.
Yeah!
Now that you've offered me, I will take you up on that.
Yes! I'm excited for the 3 a.m. Dio messages. It's gonna be great. I will get them. I'll like wake up from a daze and I'll be like, oh, Dio, I gotta get up. I gotta respond to Dio.
Alarm in the morning.
Oh my god, yes, please. I need to get up earlier. I need to get up earlier. Oh gosh, I was a little worried this morning because, like, for the podcast, I was like, all right, I'm gonna get up at this time and I'm gonna get ready and then I'm gonna go. And I set like 6 alarms every morning because if I don't, then I don't wake up. And I woke up to 1 and I got scared. Like, I got fucking scared because my phone fell off my bureau onto the floor. So I was like, and then I fell back asleep.
I hate that. It makes such a loud noise and you're like,
It's worse than like when you wake up because you're falling in a dream and it feels like you're actually falling in real life.
Oh, I hate that. It's so annoying.
So bad. Oh my gosh. Well, Dio, I want to thank you so very much for coming on, giving me an hour of your time to talk about this kind of stuff, and being the first guest of the Unmasked podcast.
Oh, God, I feel honored, man. I told you this before. I genuinely feel honored. So thank you so much for inviting me, man.
People, audio listeners, party people, the friends, if you want to check out Dio, you should check out their Twitch. They have an awesome Twitch community, awesome streams, twitch.tv/ItsJustDio_, and they also have a YouTube channel, which has some really pog videos on there. And on YouTube, it's the user for it is ItsJustDio, no underscore. Ha 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 ha.
The superior one. Until that guy gives me the bloody username.
Until the guy, we need to petition. We need to go to this guy and be like, yo, what will it take for you to give us this username? Please, we beg of you.
Please, we're begging you.
We're begging you.
God.
All right. Well, if you guys want to check out a little Q&A that we're going to be doing after this podcast, make sure you go over to the YouTubes. Any Q&As that I do after a podcast will be on there. And I'm sure that the one with Dio is going to be very chaotic and very fun.
Woo!
Woo! Again, thank you so much, Dio. All of you audio podcast listeners out there, thank you so much. And I will see you all next time. Goodbye!
Bye!